but no, chat. While we were on break, I told Logan I told Logan that the ironic part uh, is that we met in the first place. The reason we met in the first place is because Logan was taking Pony seriously. That's the ironic part.
It is very much the ironic part. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, all right, Logan. I know. All right, look. I know you're
Brother.
talking about this earlier
Excuse me.
before. I know you're talking about this earlier before you lost your train of thought. But I know you're saying something about Maven's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Before we kind of went off track in the stream, we were gonna start this whole thing by checking out Maven's YouTube channel because like I said, he was released in like 2004, I believe, but like 20 years later, he is back and he's like making YouTube videos about like wrestling and his experience into wrestling, and it's actually like a form of content that you don't see all too often in wrestling. Like it's actually like videos that are produced specifically for YouTube, where like he fucking like sits down and like fucking like not like in a podcast format, goes over like different like wrestling topics and stuff like that.
It's not.
Isn't like streams or podcasts that are like cut down later. They're like they're like dedicated YouTube videos. So
or vlogs.
yeah, which like doesn't sound all too like spectacular, but like most wrestlers who are also doing content creation, most of them are either doing a podcast or they're streaming. Every so often you'll have a vlog like with Being the Elite and Sammy Guevara, but Maven's who I'm talking about. City Pops. It's like, where the fuck were we? Wrestlers have to make some tough decisions in their careers. Will you be a paragon of justice and righteousness, or vile and base fiend? Base fiend? Based fiend. Oh yeah, I got his steroid video in my recommends. I got that too. But no, like, the thing about it is that, like, not many other wrestlers are making the kind of content that he's making. And where, like, it's, like, videos made specifically for YouTube. So yeah, like, he's breaking... there are molds to be broken, and he's breaking one. The choice is yours, but beware, you can become too based. Impossible.
Oh shit, what did it say up there? I know it's
I don't remember. Okay, so, like, I'm gonna say right now, I'm not gonna do much VA today, because, like, I have a bad throat.
Bro, yeah.
And I don't really want to, I don't want to put Zach through the pain of having to, like, do everyone. So, like, we're just kind of gonna... We're kind of gonna go through this, alright?
Yeah.
We'll take it in.
Yeah, you're gonna turn me into Woody from that Kingdom Hearts 3 meme. Just, I got this.
I almost thought about messaging Creepshow and just being like, hey, can I enlist your services?
Your voice acting services.
I need you to read lines on stream, because I can't. But was Hogan watching stuff on your YouTube again? My dude, if Hulk Hogan ends up watching my stream, he's getting blocked, alright? He's 100% getting blocked.
This brother needs the Hulk Hogan rub.
Speaking of Hogan, I have a fun little... Wait, slime. Oh yeah, Slimy. Okay. I remember that.
Oh shit, an ad break is in progress the whole time?
No.
I don't know.
No, if there was an ad break coming up, then, like, the homunculus would tell us. So...
Okay.
I have him set up to where he will tell us when there is an ad break. Oh, that's about to happen. So, yeah.
Okay.
I've not watched any of Maven's videos yet, but, like... I've watched, like, about 3 minutes of his first one, though. and like they're actually pretty like well produced. So
yeah. You said we were gonna watch one, but yeah, we wanted to get a move on.
we ended up talking too. You talk too much.
Yeah, we actually talked too much.
Oh, this is going on Botchamania.
We don't know
You
when
talk
to shut
too
up.
much. You never shut up.
Yeah, we never shut up.
I haven't watched any of Maven's videos on YouTube, but it keeps finding its way into my Twitter. You know what? That there's a sign of the universe. That there's a sign of the universe telling you to go and subscribe to Maven's YouTube channel.
It's gonna be funny if he has a more successful YouTube wrestling career.
I think he already is. I think he's on the road to having a more successful YouTube career. Because, like, a couple of his videos have, like, over 1 million views.
Yeah, they do.
And, like, a few of them have, like... And, like, Sorry. And, like, And, like, all of them have at least 100K. So he has momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, like, is really weird to say about Maven. Maven having momentum? Yeah.
Man, truly the best thing to come out of Tough Enough.
It's a lot of wrestling dynamics. Don't be soft plastic.
Fine enough. Fine enough, Logan. His most popular video is the first video you sent me, which was rating WWE wrestlers I worked with. That
was his most popular video, yeah. And the second most popular is I think his third or fourth one. So no, it's actually rather like his his second most popular video, which also has over 1 million views. I think that was like his third one.
No, it's how much money did I make as a WWE wrestler?
And like, you know what? I gotta give him props. He's playing the fucking game. He has that clickbait thumbnail stuff down pat.
Yeah, I know. He has the thumbnail and the title to down to a T.
He has the style that like all of the big YouTubers have, including Mr. Beast too. He has the style. They're incredibly clickable. So you know what? Props to him. He learned that it really is all about the game and how you play it.
Yeah, right. That's my popular one, you know, range of wrestlers I worked with. The thumbnail is him looking very angrily. It's like two pictures of two wrestlers, where it's like with the red arrows and shit. It's like John Cena, jerk, Undertaker, mean, and like letter lettering and shit.
Oh, hey, that's a heel move. Oops.
Oh.
Well, you know what? Leave now. Leave now if you still want to be able to snap those jaws of yours. Why am I doing Triple H?
Because you had him on the mind.
Yeah, I have. I learned in 2004, and he's using it now.
My favorite one is the money video with the expectations versus reality thumbnail. Oh Lord.
Lurk. Thank you for lurking, City Pops. I appreciate it. Into the dark match.
Oh yeah. This is a video that someone mentioned earlier. It's like I was a WWE wrestler. Here's how I got and used roids. Dude, that literally is like a clickbait thing though. Except it's real. I gotta get in the shower so I can pick up my fiance from work. Y'all have fun. All right, City Pop. I hope to see you later on in the stream, and you be safe out there. Thank you for lurking. Like that's literally like a clickbait thing, but like also it is not outside the realm of possibility because like, that was when drug use in wrestling wasn't as policed. So. As a before and after image as well with the thumbnail.
He has it down, dude. So.
I know, right? That's what I like. Unwritten rules of the WWE locker room, and then the thumbnails
it's
of
like
him
a handbook.
Yeah, the hamburger doing the shush
Yeah,
thing.
I know. Shoosh.
The worst real beating I got in
Oh
WWE.
yeah. I remember that one. I remember that story.
Hmm.
But like, it'll be fun to like hear it from his perspective. So,
Hmm.
because he was literally on the receiving end, first-hand account.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
double J. Let's fucking go.
yeah. You know what's you know what's funny? Look, it's funny. It's funny how already popular his videos are. Since he only has 11 videos out right now.
Yeah, but like a couple of them are over like 1 million views, and you know what? For like
Yeah.
your first several videos to have more than 100,000 each, and a couple of them to be over the million mark, that's fucking impressive. You know?
You know, it's also impressive. His very first video also being his most popular one.
Mm-hmm. A wild slap nuts appears. I really, really hope that I can team with Jeff Jarrett, but it probably won't happen. Celine Logan, the Logan bloodline. I'm wondering if you can actually team up like with real wrestlers in this.
I don't know.
I would hope. I mean, like, I kind of hope you do because they're such a large part of this game's look. You know.
Hmm.
Now my whole thing is like I'm really worried that like I'm not gonna be able to follow the story because I'm not reading it. Oh hey, what? What?
Nani?
Now that's some interactivity, brother. Okay. What? All right. Cool. Okay. This shit here reminds me of like the old like SpongeBob PC games. For some
Funny
reason.
you, funny you should say that. You should say that, Logan. Because so I was looking through old YouTube channels that that I was subscribed to. I found an old ass video that I forgot was funny as shit, which was 5 reasons why SpongeBob could defeat Goku.
And I just love how the thumbnail is like the stock image of SpongeBob,
Holding on Goku.
but he's like
His shirt
holding
up.
onto like Goku's like gear. So
Yeah.
I'm I need to watch that video. I did not watch it when you sent it because I was busy, but
Hmm.
I do need to watch it. I do in fact need to watch it. Like, how old is it?
Uh, shit. I think it's like 7 years old.
7? That
uh,
implies this from 2016 was not 7 years ago. Fuck
no.
off.
It came out January 19th, 2017.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
It's about
It's
to be
off by.
no. Fuck off.
It's about to be It's about to be 7.
Fuck off.
What?
Fuck off with
What?
that. Fuck off. I
What?
refuse to believe it was 7 years ago.
Well, don't tell me you have nostalgia for that video or something.
I don't. I've never watched it. What I'm saying is that no, I don't want 2017 to be 7 years ago. That's such a long time. You know?
Well, you're not wrong, but hey, a time does not like us.
Time is
It
cold
moves
and
on.
unfeeling.
Mhm.
Fucking hell. I need water.
Water.
Ugh.
But no, 2017. The internet itself is about to be 7 years old next year. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. You know,
Life comes at you fast.
life really does come fast. Appreciate it. What's with all the... Wait, this is literally like a heart thing, right? You got... That's why I love the Logan family. You guys really are dedicated to the craft. I know. I know. Thank you. You've done a lot for wrestling up here in the north and all across the toy room. What brings you up here, Mr. Font? I'm not... Okay, look, I will read it, but I'm not gonna, like, you know, VA it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Scouting, I'm here to see which of their scrappers are ready to come up to the big time and paw. Sir, I'm ready. Mr. Font mentioned he's excited to see the Hidge boys at Snow Slam Mania tonight. Isn't that right? He got shot. Oh yes, I've heard all about their cozy brand of electrifying entertainment. What? I mean, we gotta put them over, brother. We're the heels. It's wonderful, dear. The perfect day indeed. What the hell? Okay.
What the hell?
It's the perfect storm. It's the Yeti!
Oh no!
The Yeti!
It is the actual Yeti.
It is. Yes, we were just saying... No, you don't understand. It's snowing. It's pretty wild out there. It's gonna affect travel tonight. Come take a look.
You don't understand, Mom.
I need to get to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I was like, one thing I was not expecting on my bingo card is for both of us to see John Cena wrestle live at Fastlane.
I don't think I've ever seen Cena wrestle live, actually.
Mm.
That will be a completely different thing for me. So,
Yeah.
I really, really hope his partner is LA Knight.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I have a strong feeling it's gonna be because, as I told you, LA Knight, he was gonna be on SmackDown. Was even gonna be part of the main event segment, but he got struck with the COVID.
So they'll probably just keep the partner a mystery until the show, or maybe like the week, rather maybe the SmackDown before, and and then we'll get La Knight. Mom, Dad, don't reschedule. I'm going to go straighten things out with the WWA. Son, I can't expect you to do that. Hmm?
I have a strong feeling it's gonna be LA Knight, considering the connections he had with Cena at the last pay-per-view.
Right.
Bill Henry's and all that.
Dude, I really hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen at Fastlane, because I know how indie is. They won't pop for anything.
That'll be the one time they pop.
I mean, like, they could resurrect Jesus Christ, and despite the fact that we have more churches per capita in this state, they won't pop for it. They just won't do it. They're just tired perpetually.
I will say the Dynamite that I watched a few weeks ago that was in indie, they were a bit more lively than the last time. I'll say that much.
Top rope, catch a vibe, catch a foot when I drive, big pressure, I apply in the ring, you won't survive, yeah. I swerve when I drive, yeah. I swerve when I drive, yeah. I swerve when I drive.
Just like do the Prince Nana dance.
Oh yeah, that's low-key been one of my favorite things, him doing the dance.
Yes, yeah. You know what? Hey, Prince Nana intensifies.
Yeah.
Swerve when I drive. You know what? I'm very happy that Swerve has like gotten more screen time, because like it really has just shown how fucking good at like every facet of this he is. So
I just wish his former tag team partner Keith Lee got more screen time.
I do too. But you know, at least one of them came out looking. At least one of them came out with something to do.
Preferably you would want both.
Well, yeah, but like, you know, I'm trying to see the bright side. Also, hi, Creep Show. How you doing? I'm trying to see the bright side of every situation. Like, you know,
Well,
iCarly and stuff like that. Give it.
I I want Keith Lee. I want Keith Lee to get more screen time so I can hear more of his awesome theme.
Pre-show doesn't like the theme. I like it, though.
I love it.
To me, I think... Sorry, to me, I think it's a better theme, purely based on how it opens. Because his theme in WWE, it started kind of generically, I feel like. Whereas, like, with the... Rather, like, his theme now, it's like, who am I? And, like, that's, like, a signal to start popping. I really, really enjoy, like, themes that have, like, a stinger at the beginning of them. Because that's, like, a cue to, like, start fucking cheering or booing, you know?
The best singer of all time will always be Edge's thing with the "You Think You Know Me."
It's either that or the glass shattering for Stone Cold. Because, like, the moment that the glass shatters, it's like, that's a cue. That's, like, the biggest cue of all time. Undertaker's gong. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It isn't as strong, but it's super iconic. The beginning kind of, like... The beginning kind of... Sorry, kind of an instrumental to Cena's theme. You kidding me?
Stand back! There's
Stand back! Yeah, exactly! You know what? Unironically, and like the Knight's theme as well, like the L-A, like that's a cue.
Yeah.
Themes are best when they just get straight to the fucking point.
Like, oh shit!
Yeah, exactly.
Pour one out for the people that recently got released though.
Oh yeah, 100%. The Rock's... oh yes, 100%. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where do I go? Okay, my big head was blocking the way.
Hey, big head.
I'm sorry, I was built like this. Uncle Monkey needs to do better next time. Or maybe I just need to move myself a little bit. But yeah, like... to me, the best themes are the ones that have, like, cues at the beginning to start either cheering or booing. Because, like, that's just instant crowd reaction. You don't need to think about it. It's just there. It's associated with you. So.
Oh. I can't believe I just now remember this. Burn it down!
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Cody's thing was like, wrestling has more than one royal family.
You know, I was tempted to say Romans, but, like, I don't really think it's, like... I don't think it has that strong of an opener, even though I think the song itself is fantastic. I think the song itself is fantastic, but, like, I don't think it has a very strong hook at the beginning.
And before you told me about it, it's a wildly different variation of the Shield theme. I was like, oh shit.
I said that it has the same bass line as the Shield theme.
Baseline. Okay.
Yeah.
There's there's a cue. There's a cue of it being from the Shield theme, because at some point in the song you hear the turn it.
Seth's theme is better now, but the character is still dorky. I think it works better now that he's a face, but I don't know. I enjoy Drip God, Seth.
Yeah, I remember.
Undertale.
I remember
what's happening here? I'm sorry.
I remember, like, a good few years ago, when we were talking about WWE, or even like watching WWE, we always make the joke of "burn it down" with Seth Rollins.
yeah, definitely. Wait, is this okay? Good. Get ready for the next battle. Smash Brothers style.
I'm very sad I won't get to hear Michael Cole make any more jokes about Top Dollars, about Top Dollar anymore.
Fucking Top Dollar is such a carny dude. He spent all of his he spent all of his time back in WWE being like, oh fuck AEW, and like now that he's back in there, they're like, and now that he's released, he's all like, so about that.
How about that?
I'm very surprised that they're still around too. Okay, so like the fun thing is, the stuff that I had in mind, we can't really do it yet because like I forgot that we had 2 playable characters in this. So, I'm gonna see if there's anything else we can sort of do with this particular combination here.
Hey Logan, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh now if Top Dog begs to be in AEW now.
I will also laugh.
Yeah.
But no, I'm also surprised that like both of them are around still. Hey!
Wait, who?
The remaining members of Hit Row.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have no idea who they are.
Ashante Adonis and BFAB. I believe is what they're called. Bear Hug!
Oh god, the bear hug.
Oh god! Oh wait, that's Sap's health? Oh no. Hold on a second. So what does this do? They won't be riding for a while after this high damage buster. I mean, we're already going way overboard with this guy, so. Damn! Okay. Let's see here. Prepare for tag team.
Oh yeah, since I just remembered this, shout out to MJF on Dynamite doing the Bret Hart thing with the "Go get him, champ."
I enjoy how he had like the camera stuff and everything. It was good.
Yeah, like the old Bret Hart promo.
Yeah. Cold Snapmare.
Damn. Apparently I'm adopted.
Let's see here. I didn't expect them to like go over to like the ropes, although the structure there just kind of leaves them. It kind of leaves it a little weird. Power play. Let's try it. Let's go ahead and try it real quick.
Don't try it.
Okay, good.
Ooh. You just barely got off in time.
Nice. Man, that did a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Fuck. Okay, well, you know what? They're down. It's fine.
You're just like, fuck.
Nice. Good. No, I'm still amazed that, like, they're still around, too. I don't know what you do with them now, though. Now that, like, Top Dollar's gone.
It goes to show how, Oh, wait, they were with Top Dollar, weren't they?
Yeah, they were part of Hit Row, so.
Okay. Yeah, I believe I saw them all one time so far this year.
You know what I don't like the most? I hate when they buy up people's contracts, proceed to like do nothing with them, and then just let them go a year later. Oh hey, what the hell? 26? 26 fucking 26 fucking 26 fucking long boys, girls, NBs, and fucking AGs. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I was caught completely off guard by that.
Hi, Marshmallow Bears.
Marshmallow Bears, thank you very much for the raid. Zach, can I please
Yeah,
Please get a shout out.
Yes. Hold on, let me type all this in.
Holy fucking hell.
It's a long name.
For those of you who are unaware, my name is Giraffe Estev. I'm the president of the Lawn Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Is it like weird to like be like a completely like a caught off guard by something this big and then be like, holy shit, that's a lot? Because
they're streaming F099.
Oh, how is it? I've heard, rather like I've seen it. It looks chaotic as fuck. I'd like to play it at some point. No, you're fine. I hope your stream's going good. It's been going great so far, my friend. Hopefully your stream went well too.
Hey, Logan, still not as crazy as what happened to like Dan and Shin a few weeks ago, where they got raided by Vtuber that had over 100 viewers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a VTuber Dean really likes as well. It's really popular.
Senpai noticed.
Yeah.
I would panic and end stream, lol. But we're professional entertainers, trademark, and we don't quit. Alright?
This isn't wrestling, it's sports entertainment.
This isn't wrestling, it's entertainment. We're gonna kind of go around and we're gonna just fucking beat up these fucking dudes. But yes, hello. Yes, once again, my name is Giraffe Estev. Right now we are playing WrestleQuest. I have with me right now the president, the president zombified, Zachary Taylor.
Hi.
And my usual co-host.
Who is also Canadian because I'm speaking with the Canadian South Park thing.
Is that the time I thought it was funny?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Were you able to get first place at all? Wait, no. I would love it if just this guy did nothing but taunt. You know what? I think that's what we're gonna do. The only thing that he'll contribute is that he'll taunt. He is the hype man for the actual. What the fuck? Okay, you know what? You know what? That's fine because we have an ad coming up.
Yeah, there's that coming up anyway. Fine.
That's fine. We have an ad coming up, so it's okay.
The Rugrats movie is a 2D.
Oh, come on! It's just cutscenes.
However, the challenge level is.
Oh, let's get a better one.
You see, Zach, this is what I mean. Like, we need to freshen up the Gitsies, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta freshen up the Gitsies sometime. You and I need to sit down and do it.
Go through their catalog.
Search for Reptar. In fact, we've been meaning to
this game fucking sucks, and now here's this game.
Idea of the outstanding level setups and strong characterization. Sit back for a few minutes and enjoy some hilarious clips from the Rugrats.
It's time for 90 seconds. Cheetos break my dudes.
We could have gotten a Tomb Raider 2, but no, we got Rugrats.
Raw rolls on, by the way. After this,
let's go clean you up. I haven't golfed in ages. I'm taking the kids for ice cream, Deed. This is gonna be great.
Uncle Stu! Where's the ice cream?
Uncle Stu!
Stands Ice Cream Mountain. That's where I'm gonna get a hole-in-one and win your kids.
That's what
so
this
much
makes me
ice cream,
feel like,
you'll
Zach.
be until you're grown. So what if it's never been done before?
We just gotta get the balls in
Logan, we really need to get the attitude review on Gitsy.
We do have, dude. I already have the attitude review. It's in rotation.
Yeah, it feels like we get like the same 5 ones.
Yeah, we always get the same ones. But you know what? I'm glad one of the 5 saved ones is Psygnosis offers the same thing with Formula 1 racing.
Scaring the children.
That's like always a big pop. That's, you see, that's my cue to pop.
If you do, nobody else will be able to eat.
That's my fucking cue to pop.
Jello molds.
I thought you said something about a JoJo reference there for a second. I'm just like, ah yes, my favorite JoJo reference, Rugrats.
The world.
Right, welcome back to Raw. You came back to this. You know those memes that are like, you wake up at 3 a.m. and then you see like a George Lopez playing on your TV?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. I just imagine waking up in a cold sweat and I just see this particular episode of Flights of Fantasy, like with these cutscenes playing in front of me, right?
Man, I feel like that review should be taken out of rotation because it's most of it's literally just cutscenes.
No, it is. Like that one's getting taken out of rotation and replaced with something funnier. So,
yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to Raw. Here we go. Let's actually play the video game.
I'm also at least glad one of the ones we get.
Ow!
The Minecraft 64 was a funny one.
Yeah, I mean, like, that one's sticking around.
Yeah. Mario Kart is fun, except for when you're
losing. Mario Kart 64 is fun to play, except when you're losing.
So, of course, the best part is while George was talking, and he just completely goes off the course and should try to go into Peach's castle.
It's very funny watching him just completely go off course for no reason.
Because he probably thought it was like a secret entrance or something, or a shortcut.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, City Pops, welcome back. Did you bring the chicken wings?
No, I think when that course is brought back in future Mario Kart games, that you actually can't go off course in that way.
They watch Flights of Fantasy and they were like, we gotta patch this out. They're just like, we gotta address the bug. We need to address the bug in where Wario can just go off the track.
It wasn't a bug though, it was a feature.
It was a fucking feature. Antler bomb. Let's go, buddy. Yeah, like this stream in particular, like dude, it's so hard to comprehend how fast time moves when you're streaming. I feel like, like the moment you start, and then it's like, man, that's an hour already, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we're an hour in already.
Like we're already. What?
Now, granted, the first half hour that was just us fucking around for talking.
Well, yeah, but like still, like I don't want to go 4 hours again. I want to go like 3.5 maximum. You know?
You're just like, not again, please.
I do not want to do that again. But no, like, my thing with this team, right, is that Brink will only do offense if it's a tag team maneuver. Because he's insecure, you know? He needs the help in order to get himself into ring shape. So, like, unless that happens, the only thing he'll do is taunt. he needs the guidance.
Taunt. Just taunt.
Also, the game is good so far. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It is very, very goofy and very, very fun. So, yeah. There are nights where I play one game of Fortnite and then realize it's an hour and I'm flabbergasted. Dude, it is so... It's fucked up how like, time seems to move faster now than, like, you did when you were younger, you know?
Hey, look, I bet there's days where you're just like, I'm gonna do my dailies in Fortnite real quick, and real quick turns into an hour.
Yes! Like, before I found priorities, I played like 3 games of Fortnite every day in order to, like, do my dailies, right? And that shit took, like, at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes every day doing my Fortnite stuff, but then I discovered a little something called priorities. Fuck, I broke the gimmick. No, I take that back. Anytime I break the gimmick, Anytime I break the gimmick, I'm just gonna have to... I'm gonna have to find someone else to pick up his slack. God damn it, Brink, you forgot the script.
No, hey, Logan, never forget that one Fortnite daily that took you a half hour just because you were looking for an item that wasn't spawning.
You, like, literally came over and you watched me try to find a thing of slap juice for, like, 30 minutes. It is actually stupid how, like... There'll be many, many times where, like, Fortnite wants you to find a certain thing, and then when those missions pop up, suddenly it becomes the rarest item in all of Fortnite history.
I know, it feels like they do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, it really does feel like they just do it on purpose, because, like, it just suddenly becomes the most difficult to find thing in Fortnite. Remove your swagger by hitting them where it hurts. Deals damage and removes any buff that the target has.
It's like, oh, I just need to find slap juice. Oh, that's a real common item. I'm sure this will take no time at all. So it takes forever.
It took forever to find slap juice. I genuinely do not know why. Like, when you need it, it's nowhere to be found, but when you don't need it, it's everywhere. Exactly! It's stupid. It's so stupid.
But no, now Logan's priority is playing Ghost of Tsushima instead of Fortnite dailies.
My fucking priority is saying I'm gonna make a video at the end of the month and then not making the video at the end of the month. Because I was wanting to make a video. By the way, I'm working on another video. It is the second... the second episode of the Wrestling E-Fed with a chatbot. That'll be fun. I just need to sit down and actually edit it. I wanted to, like, do that and get it done by the end of this month, but that's not happening. That is just not happening.
Nope.
I feel like until I get, like... Sorry, I feel like until I get, like, a real fucking groove down for... for video making, I shouldn't impose a deadline on myself. So...
Yeah.
I mean, I can have a goal, but, like, I shouldn't be upset with myself if I don't make it, so...
Sans, for right now, just have the mindset of, it'll be done when it's done.
Yes, exactly. It'll be, it'll be out when it's out. Get the hang of shit before you do big shit. I mean, like... Yeah, I mean, like, it isn't like I don't know how to, you know, do video editing. It's just that... What the hell? Okay, never mind.
I imagine it's like just look at your own content. You're pumping that shit out like those no tomorrow because you had a lot of free time.
No, I know, dude. Where's that Stev? Where's that guy?
Where's that teenage Stev?
Well, you see, he graduated, and now he fucked up the gimmick, and so you know who has to come in and pick up the slack? Stag.
Stag.
He forgot the gimmick, and he's just like, fuck this guy. He's like, I hate working with this dude. But no, like, I need to have a more solid groove down before I start holding myself to high standards, I feel like. So.
I'm just gonna blame everything on Henry.
I blame everything on my work, and just the idea of everything going down on Fridays. Because that seems to be what happens now. Just the entire city falls apart on a Friday, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh lord.
Where's Spider-Man, dude? I could use that.
Is there a Spider-Man in Indiana?
God, that sounds terrible. He'd be like, I'm sick of all the drug busts, dude.
Even Spider-Man's just like, oh well, this This say ain't for me, brug. You're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Where's RoboCop when you meet him?
That being said, I am working on something right now. I'm working on a bit of a promo video for the birthday stream. It won't be very complicated, but I'm trying something I haven't really done in a while.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, the video editing. I won't, like, I won't bore with the specifics, but, like, it's something that I'm trying, and, like, and, like, it's why I have, like, the little spinner cap on.
Yeah.
The spinner cap's not for the faint of heart, okay? This is real man shit.
Yeah, I'm going to assume, at least from memory. I think the last time you did that kind of editing was what, the Fluttershy video from way back when?
No. I put out a video recently.
Oh.
I put out the lore video, remember?
Oh, that's right, the lore video. Yeah.
Well, shit, that means I gotta plug it more. I made a fucking lore video that's, not really lore, but it might actually be lore. Wink, wink, wink. It's on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. It's good.
You know what's the worst part? I even watched that video. I even watched that video as well. That's the worst part.
That's a damning fucking indictment on myself. Not even my own friends remember I put out a fucking video. So that means I need to shove it down people's throats even more. I have a video out there. Go watch it. It's good. I hear it's funny.
It's funny, right, Mark?
I'm told it's funny. So, there you go. Meh. Calm down there, DSP. Oh, no. What the f- No!
DSP!
Do not compare me to him. At the very least, I put in effort. You know?
We are nothing alike.
You and I are so different. You and I are so different.
How to trigger someone? Compare them to DSP.
Actually.
Yeah. I'm wheezing.
I'm wheezing? Aw, you friggin' dickhead. You baited me into it. Didn't you?
Baited you like a fool.
Now that was bait.
Yeah.
That's bait.
Ah, Creepshow worked you.
Worked me into a shoot, brother. It's the gritty. Well, yeah. There you go. I made a video. I hear it's funny. It is the lore on. It is the official, but maybe not actually real, Giraffe-Stev lore. It is real lore when I decide it's real lore, and it's not real lore when I decide it's not real lore. Either way, it's really good. I put a lot of time into it, and you should check it out. I'm making another video right now that I hope to have done by the end of October now, after saying I would have it done by the end of September. But yeah,
This is a test. Trans rights are human rights.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, I guess I should really say something, despite watching video. I guess it really says something when I remember the Fluttershy video more than the lore video. That's the last thing you put out.
No. Nope.
Sag.
Sag, a dark cloud over Long Boy Mania.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you I'm working on a Pony Sona?
Ooh.
Are you joining me, Creepshow? Because I'm doing the exact same thing on October 2nd. Y'all are making Pony Sonas now. Listen, ponies are good. They make me feel happy, okay? They make me feel so fucking happy. Maybe I am. What you gonna do about it? I'm going to love and appreciate it, and I hope that you do the same with mine.
Funny you should say that, Dark Raven, because this won't be the first time Logan has had a pony Sona.
No, it won't be. I remember I had one back when I was a reviewer, back in the dark ages. In the dark ages where I met my best friend in the whole world, or rather one of my best friends in the whole world, Zachary down here. So, yeah. No, it's love and tolerate. Now go to your room and think about what you've done. Listen, I will love and appreciate. That's a step up.
Yeah.
We as a society have, like, gone past the need for tolerance, okay?
We don't need to tolerate, we need to appreciate. Because toleration is, can be seen as a negative.
Yeah, I mean, like, you wanna... Like, listen. You can say, like, I tolerate someone, but I still want to deck them in the face, you know?
Yeah,
like, that doesn't mean anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a leech move there.
I'm... Hey, Logan, I am very interested. Once we get out of the really nostalgic, like, LP seasons,
yeah.
I'm really interested
No!
I'm really interested to see how we think on, like, the newer stuff of LP, because that's where our blind spots start to happen.
Yeah.
I
think we'll have a lot of fun, though, so...
Well, okay, either blind spots or episodes that we only watched, like, one time.
Yep. Damn, those Logans are at it again, fighting in the woods. If a bear shits in the woods, it wasn't a bear, it was actually Stag Logan. And through all of it, Brink was just sitting there taunting, because that's all that he's been trained to do.
Ooh!
That and tag team maneuvers, that's all he does.
Ooh, Logan, I just thought something when it comes to Gitsy, but I don't know how probable this is.
What?
Miss! So you know how we get annoyed when, like, the same video gets repeated?
Yeah.
The shit? Would be plausible? Would be plausible for like, the video won't be played again until, like, all other videos have been, like, played or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can freeze it so like any other videos won't play until that particular Gitsy's done. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like how many on rotation, like 20 or something?
21 different Gitsy videos. Although one of those is a repeat, and that is the Earthbound one, because I have the one where the sound doesn't break and the one where it does break. So.
yeah. I was just thinking, say, huh? It's like, oh, it's like this Earthbound video. It's like, oh, all right, this won't get repeated until, like, the 21st video is, like, played or something like that. until like all other videos are, like, played.
I don't know if I mean, like, I can probably do that, but I would need to. I mean, like, I would need a bit more. I would need.
No.
Yes. Like, I would need, like, a bit more knowledge, just, like, kind of on just, like, the streamer bot stuff and how that works.
Mm-hmm. Don't want anything to break.
Fuck.
Oof.
Well, there's only one thing to do in a time like this. Taunt.
Yeah. I'm so taunting you.
There's only one thing to do. There you go. Okay. Let's try it again. One more time. I thought I missed it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Sweat from the fucking brow.
It's sweating over here. Wait, you're sweating?
A cool, refreshing sip of water. Thanks. Ugh.
Ugh,
My
Savannah.
my tired throat needs it. Jeez, that lasted quite a bit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have anything that can get my... Ah, yes. Yes, 8B. Thank you. I need more action points.
Action.
For more tag team maneuvers. Let's see here. But no, I'll be making a new Pony OC for the first time in like 5 years. On October 2nd. And I'm literally going to... I literally have a process in mind for it. We're going to... We're gonna find one of those old, like, character creators.
Yep. Yep.
We're gonna find one of those old character creators and use it to create the base. Then we're going to take it into Microsoft Paint, which now has layers. It's got layers like an ogre.
Just remember, Logan, your old Pony OC was technically a long boy.
Was he a long boy?
Well, remember the picture I showed you that you made way back in like 2015 where you drew a long neck?
Oh yeah, that thing!
Yeah.
I need to track down that image. If you can find it, I want you to send it to me, because I want to post it in the Longboy Club Discord server, because that right there is my Genesis of McGillicuddy moment. Like,
yeah.
Like, that is when everything began. So... That was when the path began, and when things were set in stone. So...
This is how everything began.
The Jewel Smasher.
Look, you know, I can very quickly... oh, wow. Boom, I already found it. All I need to do was scroll through my mentions on Twitter.
Fantastic. I know I can count
I'm
on
not
you.
wrong. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. This isn't from 2015. It's from 2014.
Fuck. Okay, good, never mind. We're good.
You want me to send in, like, the general server, in your server?
Yes.
Okay.
Ow. No. Go away.
I love your cap from October 15th, 2014. Your caption is, "I'm an angry giraffe." Very mad.
Just like
you know
put...
what?
Just like put the yellow arrow next to me saying, "Does he know?"
Does he know?
Again.
It's you being an angry giraffe. I'm just like, ah, yes, accurate depiction back then.
Little did he know what was on the horizon.
Uh-huh.
I really hope everyone is having a good time tonight, by the way. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on this lovely Saturday evening. You could be anywhere else right now. It's Saturday. But instead you're here with us. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
You guys could be watching Collision, but so you're watching us.
Finally, people recognize Christian Cage for finally being the TNT champion. Finally things make sense in the world. It finally makes sense.
Oh, makes sense.
I love how he pinned Luchasaurus to like do it too. Like that's fucking awesome. Hold on a second.
Wait, what? Whoa, I missed Christian Cage is an actual TNT champion now?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Huh.
There was a triple threat on Collision, and in the triple threat, Christian pinned Luchasaurus to become the TNT champion.
Oh, proper TNT champion now.
At long last, recognized for his high work ethic.
Yeah, I do. I love the gimmick he was doing for the past few months, where despite Luchasaurus being a TNT champion, Christian carried it around.
No, I love that too. It's very, very fun.
But by the way, look, my favorite part about you being in your giraffe picture, my favorite part is how it looked like it was done in MS Paint. That is so funny.
I don't even remember how I did it back then. I don't remember how I took like my pony neck and I stretched it upwards. But the game could use a few more ladies in it. Yeah. Hey, I need to make more of those. You know.
Oh, this again. Bruh. Thank God it didn't happen during a QuickTime event.
Oh no, Zach. You know what? I need to like have a button prompt there. That's like a that like does a QuickTime event, but like you fail the fucking QuickTime event, and that's why he hits you.
Oh, I just gave you an idea.
You just gave me an idea.
Like the light
I need
bulb
one of them
just
to be like a button prompt.
like the light bulb just went off in your head.
Exactly.
Oh,
Wait, Gitsy?
This one Gitsy.
Creep show.
I was gonna play Gitsy during an ad break, but sure.
You know what also needs more women? Gaming in the
So
Clinton
what do you
years.
think Super Mario RPG is about?
Oh, this again.
Saving the
Oh
princess.
my god.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Bowser does kidnap the famous lady of video games, but you rescue her after a quick battle on a falling chandelier. Then a huge living sword named Smithy drops from the sky and smashes into Bowser's castle, throwing everyone outside.
I'm looking forward to this
The
remake,
princess
by
and
the way.
Bowser are lost,
I am
and you
too.
have to find them.
This is
At an
very
odd point
easily
in your
my
quest,
favorite game
you
on the
actually
Super
join your
Nintendo.
enemy Bowser and discover the princess in Booster's Tower. Who the heck is
I know you
Booster?
never
Who knows?
played it, but I'm
The
sure
princess is a feisty
you'll be
gal.
looking forward
She
to
even
playing
tricks Bowser into
1,000
kissing
Year
Mario
Dory
as a
cheating
prank.
next year.
Don't
Oh
mess
yeah,
with the
definitely.
princess. She doesn't like to play games.
She doesn't like to
But we
play games.
this one.
Ironic.
Super Mario RPG is full of fun. The battle
Yeah, ironic
controls are the
considering
best
she's
of
getting
any
another
RPG.
game
Other Nintendo
next
games
year.
also have cameos.
After
Donkey
what,
Kong
like
appears
15
in the
years?
jungle. Link from the
Yeah,
Zelda
yeah,
games
our
is
last
found
one was like,
sleeping
what,
in one of the
Super
games.
Princess
And the
Peach on the
ancient
DS.
ancestor Mario is
Yeah,
found
where it's all
behind a
about
curtain in Booster's
emotions.
Tower. The 3D graphics of this
It was
game
David
are
Cage style
outstanding.
emotions.
You will love this game. The only flaws are the poor hit detection outside
You'll love
the
this
battle
game,
screens and
but
the low
wait.
difficulty level. You'll beat this game in a week tops if you play a lot every day. Nevertheless, you have to play this game. So ring it, have a ball playing it, beat it, and return it. Mario is back on top.
Sure
Grab
is,
a pen or
George.
Pencil, quick.
Oh, yeah, grab pen
okay.
or pencil.
You have to play 3 different songs at
It's
3
all-
different times in order to win
It's all right,
membership
chat.
cards for the
You
drink
can
bar and tadpole
copy
pond.
off my homework.
The last song is the hardest to play. The notes are la ti do, re so, do re mi. I hope you're writing this down. Look closely at the placement of the tadpole shown here to see where the notes go. Again, the notes are la ti do, re so,
I mean, fuck, I may
do,
as
re,
well.
mi. We'll leave it up for the slow riders out there. Playing this tune will win you the soprano
Slow
card, which will allow
riders.
you to buy the Caro Caro colas at the drink bar. These special colas restore all hit points and magic points for your party. Some games really tick you off from time to time. Super Mario RPG is one of them. In one section of the game, you have to climb vines
I
to
hate
reach
this.
Nimbus Land,
Hate this. Hate
which
this
is floating
section.
high in the sky. Our game guy Tom Allen was so mad he almost broke his controller in half.
Ah!
The play control in this area is awful, especially this jump right here. He's still trying to make this jump without falling.
Yes, we did. I'm very excited for the remake. Just go left. Go left. Stop going diagonal. Stop going diagonal. Just go straight left, and you'll get it.
That makes you uncontrollably mad.
For the content, yes. Yes. Anyways, we literally had like a commercial break coming up too, so like.
That's an actual moment. That's an actual moment.
No! Do not want to do any more fighting right now. Well, actually, you know what? No, if I'm gonna do this thing in where Brink has like absolutely no ring experience of his own, then like I need to buff him up, that way he won't just fall to anything. So
Uh-oh.
So yes, more battles. Some games really just bring your piss to a boil. What a
Really
piece of shit. What were they thinking?
I'm the expert of execution.
Fuck.
Remember, the expert of execution.
You know what? You're not the expert of landing your hits. And Stag is not the expert of doing taunts. That's your game. Whenever I forget the gimmick, gotta pick up the slack. There you go.
Yeah.
But no, like, I've been really wanting to, like, do a subathon here for, like, a while, too. And I might do that, like, on February 14th, Valentine's Day, which is the 10th anniversary of me doing, content.
Damn, 10 years?
10 years. Yep. 10 years, still a hack.
Aww.
Nah, I'll give myself more credit.
Yeah, no, don't be so hard on yourself.
I'll give myself more credit. Ah, that hurt. What? Well, time to taunt some more. But no, I really want to do, like, a subathon, not just for the sake of it, but, like, more so because I have an idea for a stream/video that really only works if I have subs. Because I wanna do a thing where I put rather like where I put, like, people, rather like watchers into XCOM 2. And just have them be, like, my soldiers. And, like, whenever they fucking die, then, like, you know, that's it. That's it. That's the end of them. So really, like, a subathon in that case, it would literally be, like, just, like, an excuse to fucking have enough people to sort of do that stream.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, I'm not against that idea. I'm not against the idea of it. But, like, I'm also thinking about, like, what even would be, like, the rewards for that. Because there's still things that I haven't done from, like, the Shadow Race. And with Twitch's terms kind of changing, I don't know if I'll be able to. So, yeah.
Man.
I was slow. I was too slow. Yeah.
Procrastination's a bitch.
Really is. Like, priorities change, I guess.
Well, also Geek Squad didn't help with that.
I was about to say, Geek Squad also didn't help with that. They don't help with anything, chat. They help with absolutely nothing.
So Cole just now sent me a message that has to do with Sonic Adventure 1.
Sure.
It's from the semi-frequent Sonic Facts Twitter account.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, me attached to it. I forgot about it. It's actually really funny. Remember, in the Dreamcast release of Sonic Adventure, there's a cowgirl neon sign that moans when you touch it.
Oh, I hate that. Don't like that. Don't like that.
Man said you guys are horny.
You guys were on something back then.
Yeah.
Why are you doing such things? Why? Tell me why.
It's just built different. Yeah, you know, I could say the same thing about Capcom. Feels like they're horny 24/7 with their character designs.
I feel like that's most like Japanese devs though. A lot of them are just like, a lot of them appeal to like horn dogs. So
Hey, it works.
Tell me why, you son of a bitch.
Why?
Why? Tell me why. No! Shit.
Man.
I can't walk fast enough to go over it.
You're too slow.
I really am too slow. So, like, you know what? I gotta do more fights. I gotta do more fights, chat. I gotta do more fights. But no, like, really, if I did a subathon, it would really just be an excuse to have enough subs in order to, like, play XCOM 2 with subs. So, but, like, I have been thinking about, like, what potential incentives would be. One of them would probably be creating like a Gitsy video of our own.
Oh yeah, that.
Another one, it would probably be picking up the My Little Pony G5 game and trying to beat Phoenix's speedrun.
Yeah, because the game is very, very, very short.
I know that, like, if you're playing casually, you will literally, like, be done with it within 4 hours, I think. So.
Yeah, Dean should know.
I mean, like, he bought it and played it, didn't he?
Yep.
Oh, that's sad.
That shit was like $40 or $50.
$50?
Yeah, it was like 40 or 50 when he bought it.
And it was published by, I think Outright Games, which is essentially just like the 2020s version of THQ. So
a bunch of licensed stuff.
They publish nothing but like Garbo licensed kids games. Through Outright, the beloved 6th and 5th generation still survives.
Oh my god. Logan, I said to Colby, like, Sega be horny. And she's just like, explains a lot about the Sonic fandom. Like, oh.
What? How fucking down are we? How down are we?
I hate how true that is. Oh, Lord.
Fine. Okay. Well, you know, I gotta follow with my sister. Here. I gotta follow along with my sister.
Hey, look, I imagine the awakening happened when Sega designed Rouge the Bat. That definitely feels good demographic.
The fucking awakening.
Yeah, people being horny.
God damn it! I hate you all. Hate all of you. Go and find a real woman, please.
Why don't you go find a real woman?
Because I don't care! Is this supposed to be an Ace stream? Yeah. Well, listen, I'm Ace. But, like, I still laugh at, like, you know, butts and dicks and stuff. So.
It's so appeals to our inner, like, 5-year-old laughing at immature jokes.
I really, I'm not finding a woman to touch because I don't care. I mean, Demi insane, but still. I wasn't expecting that. Never mind. I'm sorry if that came out of nowhere. I didn't mean to make things awkward.
That's right.
I didn't mean to make things awkward for people in chat. My thing is, I am an asexual man, and for me, I do not have any interest in sex, but I will still point and laugh. Oh, never mind is not mad. Okay. I do not want to have sex, but I still poke fun at, like, you know, butts and, you know, boobs and dicks. And
like we're teenagers.
yes. And, you know, I would still like to, you know, be in a relationship. But right now I just don't really have a lot of interest. So for me, as long as I'm in good company, I'm fine. So
yeah,
that
company
is
with your
company
with your best friend.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I'm in good company, like with good friends and family, then I'm good. So I'm in no rush.
Companions, you could say.
Yeah. They're part of, Zach is part of my, role-playing game party here. Quick, Zach, do the saddle sore. Do it, now.
I'm sorry, do the what?
Great, fantastic. He's down. You did it. Good job, Zach.
Yay.
Some music for you. Anyways. Fuck. That's not the gimmick, brother. Stag is fed up with him at this point. He's just fed up. Maybe I should just do the taunting from now on, he thinks. Because clearly you cannot do crowd work. Let's see here. Oh boy, you are nearly dead. Really hope that this next one buffs you up into a level up.
You'll be saddle sore after this.
Nice. Okay, and now, go for the pin after doing nothing this whole match, basically. No! Of course! Of course he would be the one to miss it. Okay, I'm going to try and wrap this up before the next, like, ad break plays.
Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't happened in a while.
It's because I've been using my, my delays. So... Okay, there you go. Man, Brink can't do anything right.
Man.
Level up? Yeah, baby, level up. Great.
Let's go.
Alright, well, an ad starts in like 15 seconds, so we may as well just get out the way now.
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Yep, Raw rolls on after this.
Well, I know what it's time for then.
If no one got my back, I know that Gitsy have my back.
Yep.
Like Illusion of Gaia,
oh boy,
Earthbound comes packed with rare hints if you need them. Earthbound is an easy RPG, but Nintendo wanted the game to be easy so it provide constant, uninterrupted fun. Earthbound has so many comic elements to it that Nintendo doesn't want you to give up on the game and never see those funny scenes. Earthbound is the first RPG
I need to like
set in
take this
times.
into
You save your progress by calling your dad over the telephone
into OBS and like take out the intro because
Speaking
the intro
pizza,
makes us a dead giveaway which one we got.
And eat pizza in the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check, otherwise known as search, and the control pad to move.
Yeah.
Prepare to visit several places, like a clubhouse, arcade,
all right,
burger shop.
Yeah.
Burger shop.
Those are the 3 places you can visit in Earthbound, chat. You can visit no other places.
And Yali gets completely cut out. What an amazing review this is.
Oh, yes.
I love how they didn't even delete it and later re-upload with the better version. They just kept this.
It's such a weird thing. like, after all these years, like, this has been up for, like, 15 years at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's still like this. It's still like this.
It's so fucking funny.
Cool.
This makes things really awkward to watch with no audio whatsoever.
I don't know, Zach. I think this is the best way to watch Gitsy when you can't hear the presenter. I got an ad for this Cult of the Lamb looking game about axolotls. It looked at least somewhat interesting. What is the game called?
Tell me.
Fun fact. The Cult of the Lamb devs, they made the first game I played as a VTuber.
Ooh.
They made Adventure Pals, which has a mechanic in the game where you grapple using a little giraffe and his tongue.
Yeah. I remember that. I really, really liked that.
It's a very, very cute. It's a very cute time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Axolotls.
Also reminds me of a time when the Toe Jam Earl developers were actually chatting your stream.
There is a Twitter thing going on right now, right? And where people are like retweeting a thing where it's like, talk about like the weirdest, the weirdest moment that you had with a celebrity. And I need to find that clip because there was a time in 2020 where like the fucking Toe Jam and Earl devs like just came into my stream at one point. And of course it was while me and Colin were playing the Genesis game. So, yeah. It's very, very funny. They clipped my stream, and then they put it on their Twitter without credit. Ugh.
Oh, man.
You know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'm not mad about it 3 years later. You're mad about it 3 years later.
I'm not annoyed. You're annoyed.
Your boy talking about Cheetos breaks when well, all I got in front of me right now are pretzels. Well, at least you won't end up in surgery, unlike the homunculus. Is it the Toe Jam and Earthworm gem? Sorry, the gym devs who are massive transphobic dicks. I do not know what the Toe Jam devs are. I mean, I know that for like a good year or so, like their Twitter account was pretty memey, but then
you talking shit, long boy.
I'm not talking shit. I'm talking facts. The reason you weren't here was because you had to go and get surgery for like a prolapsed finger. You know, it's from like all the Cheetos that you ate. Taunt.
No, we don't. No. We're not referring whatsoever to the Earthworm gem developer because yikes.
I'm a living plushie.
You know what? Listen, if I ever get big enough to make plushes, I'm 100% making the homunculus into one. Hey, Lone Wolf, let's see if you can get it. Also, hi, Ash. How you doing? Ah! I expect the tenner in the mail.
My body, my rules. Lest we remind chat of your crippling addiction to Arby's.
Hello, Mario.
You had to make it personal, huh?
Hello, Mario.
You had to make it. You had to go there. Well, I'll have you know that the Diablo roast beef and chicken sandwich was like the only good thing that Arby's made in the past 10 years. And then they took it away. And then they took that shit away. And now it's just mid again. And now it's just mid again. You send the giraffe 10 fingers in the mail. Are they like chicken fingers? Like, I really, really hope that they're not the fingers I'm thinking of. Diablo, you say? Damn, how'd I miss that?
Well, wait. Oh, no, wait, Logan. They're the Arby's chicken fingers.
No. At that point, send me nothing at all. At that point, just send me nothing.
Falls into despair.
Long Boy Club, you and I need to have a conversation. Because this aggression shall not stand. Alright?
You know, as far as the homunculus would gladly accept the Arby's as
He
well.
would! He would!
I'm not thinking Arby's, I want Subway $5 footlong sandwiches.
Ugh.
I mean, like, if you're gonna eat something that's not so aggressively terrible. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, listen, I've been like Father fucking Jonathan, right? I've been like eating subs from like all kinds of different sub places for like the past 6 months. Like, literally the day of reckoning is coming, and it doesn't look like pizza. It looks like sub sandwiches.
I will eat all the terrible things.
You do that, but I'm not paying for your medical bill. Subway is so bottom tier right now, okay? It's so bottom tier compared to literally any other place. Like, for me, Penn Station and Jersey Mike's are like the top. Those are like the best ones. Especially Jersey Mike's with like their Chipotle cheesesteak. That shit's awesome. Firehouse can be a little hit and miss, I feel like. But when you actually get it cooking, like when we're fucking cooking, what the hell? Like when we're actually cooking with gas, like that's when things start making sense at Firehouse.
So you're saying, Logan, is like, Subway isn't even mid, it's terrible.
It is terrible, because listen, everyone uses mid these days, and they mean bad. But no, mid is middle of the road. Subway is, like, bad, right? It's terrible. It has no flavor. It has basically, like, no nutrition to it, I feel like. Like, all of the vegetables are always, like, either withered or like, soggy. Like, they aren't, like, ripe. It's just, like, it's no good. It's no good. Yeah.
So mid is supposed to just mean average.
No, Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf, I want the tendies, okay? We get a sub. I was given a sandwich. I mean, that's how you know they're bad. They can't even get the sub right. Instead, they give you something completely unrelated.
Subway cookies are good, though.
They're pretty good.
They are a bit melty, though, with the chocolate chip.
I enjoy melty cookies.
Yeah.
You'll be settled sore after this.
For me, I'm fine if my cookie doesn't have a lot of serotonin.
Serotonin.
Thank you. We're literally spending this whole stream just doing no story. Like, right now, we have just hit 2 hours. We've had no plot. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Ah, that almost missed! That almost missed! I love Subway's raspberry cheesecake cookie. You know, I grew up...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Logan, when I was briefly looking up WrestleQuest, like I want to understand why, and maybe we'll get to the why when we get later in the game, but at least according to Steam, this game has like mixed reviews. Like, but why though? This looks fun.
I don't know, this seems... I mean, it seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far. Now then. The actual workhorse of this fucking thing. Get inside their head. Tony gives you a 15% bonus to dodge for 3 turns. And yet, Brink Logan has, like, none of this.
Oof.
Really, she's the one that should be taunting, but... You know what? She's letting her, like, brother do it, that way he can feel good about himself. So, what a stand-up person. Set yourself up for a vicious counter maneuver. For the next 4 turns, you'll have a chance to launch a reverse elbow against any attacker. There you go. And specifically target it. Right. Maybe it doesn't translate to YouTube because I've watched you play and I've watched Matt McMuscles play, and this doesn't really interest me at all. And it's like specifically targeted to me as someone who loves turn-based shit and wrestling. What do you think is like not clicking with you about it? For me, this is not my dream wrestling RPG. For me, it's something that's a bit more career-based, you know? Like something like this, and where, you know, it's a bit more of a traditional kind of a role-playing game storyline.
That's all I do.
You know, like that's fun and all, right? But I want like a role-playing game that feels like a career mode, you know?
Yeah.
I want one where... What?
I say so since you started like this session of the game, it really feels like the plot has barely progressed at all.
Well, to be fair, I've been kind of moving slow and, you know, talking with chat and stuff like that. Which, you know, by the way, keep it coming. Keep it coming. I'm not putting you guys down. I enjoy chatting with all of you. Baba Bui.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, I'm sure this counts as mixed reviews. On Steam, for the most part, at least on Steam, it says 7 out of 10. So, oh, okay, that's probably not mixed then.
I mean, 7 out of 10 is a good score, you know?
Yeah. Good score.
I mean, the game doesn't have to be, like, shit hot or anything, you know?
Yeah, alright. Oh, yeah.
It could just be a game that knows what it is, and, you know, it does the thing. So, yeah.
But remember, Logan, some people think 7 out of 10 means bad.
It's very, very true. Okay, I need to, like, heal. Hold on a second. There you go. Good. You should play Day of Reckoning for its shit story. Should I now? Oh no, you know what I need to do?
What?
I should just play Celine and Stag like they're... like how they're supposed to be played. In terms of, like, Celine is more support, and Stag is kind of more, you know, a brute force. But, like, Brink just really looks up to his sister. So, like, all he does is taunt. Because, like, Celine has, like, a move that, like, gives her more hype if she taunts, right? Of course, the female character is support. What in the patriarchy? Yeah. And it's the same thing in the other side, too. It's actually a little shit. I don't like it.
Man.
I don't like it as much. But you know what? It's a different story when we were playing Fire Emblem, and where Lysithea was fucking just a giant god of destruction. And
yeah,
anyone
I know, right?
that dares step up to her, they face the wrath of the 9 hells. So
that's pretty much her and Hilda.
It was her and Hilda, but like also, she isn't like as support here as the other woman party member is, because like she has like more kind of utility to do damage, whereas like the other one is just straight support. So yeah. Anyways, Creepshow, I'm way ahead of you. Listen, there will come a day where I run out of wrestling games to play, but by that time, I'll be like 50. I'll be like 50 years old. And I will play as many as I can, so...
As many
as I can. There you go. Now you're forgetting the one. What's the one?
The one?
The Xbox One.
Oh.
Looking forward to the ECW Hardcore Revolution stream. Fuck it, let's do it. I'll do one stream of it. You know what? Do it, yes! Yes! Yes, to all of that. I mean, you cannot make me play a whole thing of Hardcore Revolution or Simpsons Wrestling or Backstage Assault. I don't even think Backstage Assault has a story mode. It just has, like, an arcade mode. And a pretty bad one at that, so...
Well, one stream is all you need for those types of games, because I imagine it get pretty frustrating playing those for long periods.
It'd be frustrating, and it would also be pretty boring, because, like... I don't think that Backstage Assault has a story mode either. Like, you know, I'm willing to put up, like, with 2K20 slowness, because I want to see how the story is. And I want to keep fleshing out the characters. Why did they even make Backstage Assault? I guess contract obligations. But, like, it really did show, like, where WCW was at that time, though. Like, they just couldn't do anything right, you know?
Dude, Backstage Assault was such a reflection of what WCW was at the time.
It's really weird because, like, that was when WCW switched developers, because with Aki going to develop WWF games, WCW obviously couldn't work with them anymore, and so they partnered up with EA. EA. And their first thing that they did, Mayhem, actually wasn't all too bad. But then they just completely dropped the ball with Backstage Assault. So
and before that, and before Backstage Assault was WCW NWO Thunder, which was a piece of shit game as well.
So it's Cold Front then. Time to execute on Phase 2 then. Come on, guys. Let's do this for LF Font. Let's do it for this family. Family. The of wrestling games. So wait, are we going back to Macho Man? No, we're not. Top rope.
Family.
Alright, Van Diesel, calm down.
Alright, guys, we made it. Now, it's time to find Cold Front. Yeah, and have a polite conversation with them, eh?
Eh?
You know it. Have a polite conversation.
I'm Vin Diesel. I play D&D and sit on yachts in between car movies.
Is Vin Diesel, like, an actual Dungeons & Dragons player?
That'd be funny.
That would be the funniest thing, actually. I really, really hope that's the case. Yes!
Oh my god!
Let's fucking go, dude.
What a dork.
Let's fucking go. That's awesome. It's like, where is anything here? Okay, there you go. I just love how I have to tilt my head to see shit.
You gotta move your big head out of the way.
There's only one stable that delivers non-stop barometric action. Cold Front. Wait, isn't this the guy from Macho Man's thing? And remember, the only place for atmospheric carnage and high-pressure entertainment is the Weather Wrestling Alliance. And... cut. Great job, guys. I want to get another take. This time with all three of you saying Weather Wrestling Alliance together.
Oh. oh my god, look, I posted, like, your OC Giraffe thing, like, 2014, your server, and now some replies to that, saying, images that aged well.
That right there is the image that aged well of all time.
Yeah.
What do you think What do you think Vin Diesel's, like, preferred class is? Like, like, the obvious answer in my head is probably Barbarian. But that feels a little too... It feels a little too simple, right? That feels
Which
like...
one would...
Feels a little too
Which
obvious.
Which one would focus on family the most?
I would love it if he was a bard.
Yeah.
I want Vin Diesel to be a legendary support. You know? I want Vin Diesel to be the most legendary support character of all time. Take a hike, Logan. We're not changing a thing. How about we wrestle for it? You want to wrestle us? A cross-promotion fight? You sure you can make these kinds of calls without your daddy's approval? I'm talking a shoot match. No crowds, no cameras, just us in the ring. Oh, hey, it's an empty arena match. You guys are in for some meteorological mutilation.
Halftime heat, let's go.
It's halftime heat, baby. But first, do we have an ad coming up? How close are we to an ad? Okay, 7 minutes. I can do this in 7 minutes, chat. I think.
Tick tock.
You gotta get permission from your father-in-law first. Seismic Thunder. Yeah, like, we've literally seen this guy, too. We've literally seen this guy. Even in times of turmoil, the only thing he knows how to do is taunt. And do tag team maneuvers. That's such a... That's so much, though. That's so much AP. Ooh, nice. I love how he did, like, the Falcon knee.
Yeah, the knee.
The knee of justice. What the hell? Oh. Oh, okay. Holy crap! That's a lot of damage.
No doubt about it, Logan.
No doubt about it, Cole. You know what? We can also do offense like that, too. But we need a whole shitload of, a whole shitload of AP. I really, really hope we can do it. No, we can't. Fuck. So it needs, like... It needs 75... Oh! Oh, I get it. I get it. It needs 75 from the person that's, like, gonna do the move. So... I get it. However, that probably means that someone's about to go down. That probably means someone's about to...
Sorry, man.
That means someone's about to hit the sack. No! Come on! We literally just had to deal with this. What? Oh. You actually need to break the submission? Okay.
So Logan, as I was like saying, you know, to you way earlier, I've been looking through like Graveyard Pony channels that I'm like subscribed to, and such, and there's quite a few names on here where I'm just like, I haven't seen this name in a long while. Holy shit! Hits you like a truck.
I know I wanted to like. I kind of want to be like who, but I don't think anyone in this chat would even, like, know what we're talking about, so... I don't think they would know what we're talking about.
Maybe there's even a few where you're just, who? Like one I found earlier today, I APN'd you about this one, earlier today was, Cast a Melody.
Doesn't she have, like... a cyan pony as well and yellow hair?
yeah, she's like a blue pony.
Yeah. I remember her kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her kind of.
Yeah, we're kind of. No, the weird thing is, when I went to when I went to her channel, no, another video, despite having like a pony icon, none of her videos had any ponies.
She probably. And how long has it been since she's like put something up?
Last I checked, about like 7 or 8 years.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
Give me the sauce. Give me the sauce.
Yeah, the sauce. You want the sauce?
Yes.
Alright, I'll give you this damn sauce.
I need the sauce. That's actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's really been that long.
Alright,
Chad, why does time need to go by like this?
Her last video was 8 years ago.
That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, man.
And despite her YouTube channel linking to her Twitter account, when you try to click on it, it says this account doesn't exist. Like, oh.
What account?
Her account.
Her account's on what? Sorry.
Despite her YouTube channel linking to her Twitter account, we actually try to click on it. The Twitter account's just like, hey, this account doesn't exist.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm just like, holy shit! I vaguely remember her.
Just vaguely, though.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's really crazy to think about, though, because like chat, when you have been like doing stuff for like as long as I have, granted, I've been doing it with sort of not much consistency, but regardless, I've been doing stuff for like a long time, and when you do that stuff, you see a lot of people come and go. Fuck me. You see a lot of people come and go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens... Wait, hold on. Deals mega damage and a chance to... Heals one ally. You know, he can also do healing, but only on his sister. Also, we have an ad break coming up. Sorry. Fuck you, Bezos.
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Bubbles on. But no, you see a lot of people come and go. Like, a lot of people who used to be into content creation when I was starting, a lot of them are not here anymore. And, you know, especially in Brony stuff, that scene's completely changed. I am what you could probably call a relic.
Yeah, and it's some just completely vanished off the face of the earth.
Despite the fact that I'm younger than most of the people who were doing it at the time, but I've been around. I've been here for years, and well, I can say that at least in terms of bronies, I enjoy the community a lot more now. I think with the show ending, things have cooled down a lot, and you know, regardless of what you think about Gen 5, it's not going to. I mean, it's not going to have the same cultural impact, I feel, as like Gen 4 did.
Nah.
Because that, like, rather because like the stuff that came out of that, like, it knew how to appeal to people outside of that audience. So yeah.
And look, this is always my example. Like people like vanishing off the face of the earth. My go-to number one example, at least for bronies, by far is Camgo's pony. He just like disappeared.
hold on. We're about to come back from break.
Okay.
Welcome back to Raw. Yeah, like it's just really crazy to think about like how many people have just kind of, left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still
Something
here.
about saying it. Yes, it's something about saying a peep.
I'm still here because I want to make something out of this.
Yep.
Yeah. And I have fun doing it too. First and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was another point I was gonna bring up, but I forgot what point it was.
All right, let's.
Oh.
Actually, no. You know what? Hold on a second. High damage.
It's time to hit the dusty trail. You'll be settled sore after this.
Come on.
Oh, right. All right. I remember what point. I remember what point I was gonna bring up. So I saw Steve way earlier, but I watched like an MLP iceberg video.
Yeah.
And there's something I did not know about. An iceberg. Someone like way back in the day, when Friendship is Magic was first unveiled at like Comic-Con. There's this guy that made a video predicting that Friendship is Magic is gonna have a huge impact on the culture.
Well, it fucking did.
Yeah.
Like it or not, that guy called his shot. So.
Yeah. So, oh shit. we got this now to got this nailed down to a T.
He like called his shot on that one.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, oh shit.
You gotta get permission from your father-in-law first. Technical wrestling, gruesome execution of opportunity. Baba Boy am back. Fried are done. Fries? Fries, you mean?
Oh, okay. And there's also some channels where I was just like, wait, this person still makes content?
I wonder.
Oh shit.
Does Keyframe still do stuff of her own, or is she just kind of like doing stuff like with other people now?
I think she primarily only does the podcast thing with ANY now.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Does Golden Fox still do stuff?
Surprisingly, I think so.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's so nuts.
I like the person I was thinking of, where I was just like, wait, this person still makes videos? Oh shit! Was Master Code Ace Analysis.
Lurk, thank you very much for lurking, City. I appreciate it. Fiance finally got off work. Thank fucking God. Oh yeah. You go and spend some time with your fiance. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. And to everyone who's here with us now, I appreciate you being here with us. Again, it's a Saturday night. A lot of people are usually out on this evening. You could be doing anything else, but yet you're here with us, and I appreciate that. So I'll be lurking too, you fucking nerds. Alrighty. Well, who do we have in here? We have Zach, we have Creepshow, we have Ash and Dice, we have Dark Raven, Hateable Vermin, City Pops, Sax. I'm trying to see some of these because like a few of them are still in here off of Marshmallow Bear's Raiden. Watchful's here. Sorry, God is in here as well. Virtually God. I'm God. And Weed Demon. Those are the ones that I feel comfortable kind of shouting out without knowing who's a bot and who is not. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, I would really, really appreciate it if you joined the Discord. We have watch-alongs going on in there right now. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. We have been watching that again for the first time in a few years. And it has been an absolute treat. It's been one of the highlights of my week, and I've been loving it to bits. So I would appreciate it if. Oh hey, speaking of watchful,
more Raiders.
In with the long boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Thank you very much, my friend. For those who don't know, my name is Giraffe Stev, president of the Long Boy Club, very large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat, who is sleeping on my slipper once again. Tonight we are playing WrestleQuest. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Hello,
Mario.
The expert of execution. All you did was taunt. Expertly executing, getting under my skin.
Hey, look what they were streaming.
Heroes. Yeah, Sonic Heroes. I popped in there for a second. It is, you know, in all seriousness, fun stream. I'm glad that you are enjoying the game. I love it. I've been really enjoying it. It is not what I would want out of a wrestling RPG. I would want something that's a bit more of like playing out a career, but in the context of like role-playing games.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also very fun. I enjoy kind of just the vibe of it. I enjoy like the combat of it. It's a very, very cute game. So yeah. Yeah, I saw you pop in and had to raid. Well, I appreciate that, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoyed Sonic Heroes. I know it can be kind of frustrating on native hardware. Funnily enough, if you like actually go out of your way to like find a ROM of the PC version and download a couple of choice mods, it actually becomes one of the best Sonic games. It becomes one of the best when you're not slipping and sliding all over the place, and you're actually able to like see how the team mechanic flows. So yeah, it's a very satisfying gameplay loop, and it's a real shame that the controls really hold it back. So
yeah. But no, like as I was saying earlier, it's like the one person that I was referring to, I was just like, oh, so holy shit, this person's still uploads. I was like, oh wow. Was I don't know if you remember him. Master Code Ace Analysis.
He's what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's still going? Wow.
Yeah, he's still going. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely no disrespect, but how the fuck? I mean, no disrespect, but how in the actual fuck?
It's like, yeah, I was surprised by that as well, because I remember back in the day where it'd be like months without a new video and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a bit. Yes, it was a bit, especially with Team Chaos, but Final Mission was great. The Final Mission is pretty hype, yeah. I mean, that's fair, but I still love me the action figure toy box aesthetic. I mean, I enjoy it. I like it. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
About Logan, to also answer your question about Golden Fox, his last uploaded video was 2 months ago, but he has another channel where he puts up like all the streams, because he like constantly streams, and his last one was like literally less than 24 hours ago.
Wow.
So yeah, he constantly streams. Yeah. He's also a streamer.
So it's like he's more of a streamer these days. Where the fuck do I go?
What should we do?
Like,
follow the exclamation point.
I am. I literally am. Literally am. What is an Amy Rose cocktail? Watchful. What's in it? I've never heard of such a thing.
Is it the new G Fuel flavor?
Ugh, that's not a cocktail.
I know.
It's not a cocktail. That's heart failure. No.
Which, by the way, I love how the Strawberry Shortcake is just a rebranding of Amy Rose on it.
It is. Like, they're literally just like putting out old flavors now and giving them to someone, you know? Oh, nah, it's not Strawberry Shortcake. It's Amy's Strawberry Shortcake.
There's a difference.
Listen, we appreciate Amy in this house, right? We appreciate Amy in this household. But that's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, and the sad part is, Logan, is like, I'm still gonna buy it anyways.
You will. You'll buy it because she has a new hat. So
yeah, because we stand Amy, and I want that shaker cup.
You know what? What does the shaker cup look like? Send me it.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I can actually just find it like in the Discord.
Oh, in the general. Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Just a
Yeah,
second.
It was in the general.
Yeah. Hopefully you all had a fun stream over there. Thank you very much for the raid, Watchful. I appreciate it. One of these days I'll raid you back, but unfortunately our time zones don't always line up. Sorry.
Look, oh, that shaker cup is so pink.
Zach, I'll send you stickers and you can just put it on a cup.
Yeah, but is it pink?
You know how Scott the Wasp started his like limited edition controllers by spray painting a Wiimote?
Yeah.
I will do that, but I'll do that like with a shaker cup. I will literally mail you a spray painted shaker cup with like Amy just slapped on there and be like, there you go, there's your Amy's shaker cup. Take some sliced strawberries and half a shot of lemon juice, muddle it in a shaker, and then put in 1.5 ounces of rum and a shot of triple sec, and then shake and put it in a glass and fill glass with lemonade rose.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like that. I'd like that probably.
You know, it's a crazy part about that strawberry shortcake flavor. I don't know if you can tell, but it's meant to be drenched with milk. That's when that's supposed to peak.
I mean, I can see that. That's what G Fuel says I should do, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I've done it before, strawberry shortcake. I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty good with milk.
I would probably enjoy that, Watchful. I'm a big. I don't drink all that much, but when I do, I enjoy the fruity ones. I don't like. I enjoy my booze to be as unboozy as possible. So.
Also, Logan, did Colin just get home?
Colin's been home.
Oh, he's been home. But...
Yeah. Why?
I thought I heard him.
You. Maybe. You might have.
I thought I heard stuff going on in the kitchen.
Well, right now he's doing stuff in the kitchen, so.
Yeah. wait! Are you saying I have very hearing?
Colin's sort of like, what?
What?
Also doesn't help that our floors are a little crickety. I need to get it repaired. Yeah.
Look, just like, wait, look, are you saying I have better hearing than you right now?
What now?
Crazy. Are you saying I have better
hearing than me?
Yeah.
Well,
Hello, Mario.
Well, you know, giraffes... Hi there, Ashley. Well, you know, giraffes are not really built for hearing. We're built for suplexing. As for the suplex button, I've yet to find it. There's a lot of buttons on the Switch Pro controller, you know. So, I'm still experimenting. How you doing? Utility belt, headband. This is one thing I don't like about, like, RPGs, just, like, all the sorting through stuff.
Oh, yeah, I see, actually, she's just like, where's the suplex button?
Well, it doesn't taste boozy at all. It is damn near refreshing, lol. I'll have to try it myself. DM me the recipe. DM me the recipe, because... I don't know if, like, drinking goes against keto. But, like, if it doesn't, I'm sure, like, Colin would want to try that, too. So
this game better have a power bomb.
It has a power bomb for a certain character. Not for everyone, though. Not for everyone. Okay, so given how Brink doesn't do any actual fighting, we need to like coat this guy in bubble wrap, okay? So, utility belt, hockey helmet, and flannel shirt. damn near impenetrable.
Look, I don't know if you've done it yet, or maybe it wasn't paying attention. But for these guys, have you done the what's it? I get not skill tree. Their specialty is, or what the fuck.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. What? No Create Gira? There is no Create a Wrestler in this game. Nope, it is all pre-made wrestlers.
Which honestly, I was really surprised by.
I was a little surprised by that too. I kind of wish you could make your guy, but I'm fine with this. We're making our own story with them. I DM'd you the recipe. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I discovered a new recipe.
Come up with a new recipe, yeah. Equipment. We have anything for him? Winter guns. That'll probably be a good thing for Stag over here. Hockey stick. Oh wait, can he not? Can he not do this? No, he can't. Okay, so certain things can only be used by certain wrestlers, it looks like. The Blizzard Belt. Blaze Gem. Fire damage. Again, we gotta buff up all these guys because Brink will be doing absolutely nothing this whole time. So we need to make sure that he won't fucking get game ended. Wait, does someone have a straight up gun? Yes. Someone's pulling out a strap here on live TV.
Oh no.
Also, oh fuck, we're... Okay, never mind. We're stabilizing. What? We're stabilizing. We're stable.
Okay.
We're stabilizing. Karma. Is that only for Muchacho Man? Hockey helmet. Blue visor. It's not as violent as a knife to the neck, but damn.
Oh.
That's a good callback. I enjoy Ashley because she, like, remembers past streams, and she'll, like, bring them up.
God.
She fucking fills in the blanks that I forget to fill in myself. Armor class. I don't really think you need a whole lot of those. You do need the utility belt, though, because you are very squishy. So.
Squish.
Winter guns can only be used by... Tremor singlet. Wait a second. Wait a second. That's... This guy will be untouchable. Okay, I gotta head off to bed. I got work tomorrow, so I'll talk to you later. Thank you again for the raid, Watchful. I really, really appreciate it. And you have a good sleep. You have a good sleep, my friend. Provides immunity to softened. Yeah, I'll do that. It's our singlet. So wait. Oh yeah, the One Piece is finally real.
Yeah. I love how the live action Netflix thing has ironically jumped to One Piece into the actual mainstream now.
Actually, kind of has, yeah. Don't be soft. Yeah. How do I forget when the AI goes into business for itself?
Like I haven't watched the live action thing, but at least from what I heard, people are just this is how you do live action anime and shit like that.
They finally got it right, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not Frostbite, it's skin trading, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's right. We already talked to you about that. Don't be soft.
Oh.
That's a word you don't see every day. Soft?
Yeah.
That's another wrestling reference, brother. What is he up to these days? Is he still in,
Wait,
like...
who?
Enzo. What's he doing?
Oh yeah. I'm not sure.
Because W. Morrissey is in AEW right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is Enzo doing?
That's a good question. Let me look him up.
Also, Big Bill Morrissey is fucking phenomenal too. I really just enjoy like his. I enjoy his stick. He isn't like oh my god, best worker type, but like I just kind of enjoy like his brand of charisma. It's very fun. He's a good asset. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Enzo was an MLW from 2021 until this year.
Oh, so is he like not doing anything now? What's he doing?
Hold on. We're gonna bring his Wikipedia page up on it because he has like go by NWL. But
that was perfectly timed.
But Nintendo wanted the game to be easy, so it provided
that surprised me.
Uninterrupted.
That happened literally at the perfect time. We literally faded to black and everything.
Oh.
Earthbound is the first RPG to be set in modern times.
My right ear once again has fallen in love with George Wood.
And refill your energy by eating pizza. Speaking of pizza,
although Logan said basically he has all the tools.
In the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check.
I did say that he has all the tools.
And the control pad to move. Prepare to visit several places: a clubhouse, arcade,
which
burger shop,
burger shop,
Loch Ness Lake, dinosaur museum,
the audio's fucking me up, dude.
Stonehenge.
All right.
The audio is really messing me up.
City Hall, preschool, a bakery.
I really did just say that he has all the tools.
Inns, a desert, a beach resort,
he could be a great
shop,
player if he
Saturn
applies
Valley.
himself.
Watch out for Master Belch. You may have smelled him before.
Said
Bottom line,
Jim Ross to Shelton Benjamin 20 years ago.
Psychic experience points fit the
poor Shelton Benjamin.
well. The game is easy,
got released
but you should
again.
consider buying it just because
after
it's
doing
really
fuck
innovative.
all.
Earthbound is the first RPG set in modern times.
Yes.
The graphics are impressive artistically, but not technically.
Yes.
The humor makes the game interesting.
Yes. That's it.
And now here's Final Fantasy. No, thank you all for hanging out with us on this evening. I really appreciate it, by the way. If you haven't done so already, I would really appreciate it if you followed. We are currently doing My Little Pony watch-alongs in the Discord, so if you want to be there for that, please consider joining. And I also have all my shit here in my card. It's all just in there, so it's like I'm not spamming a bunch of links at you. It's all just there. Follow what you want, or don't follow what you want. I just appreciate you being here. Thank you. Now then.
So, okay, so yeah, like I said, Enzo was let go from LWO this year. And I'm reading off the Wikipedia page, and it sounded like a whole shit show thing. Like a big shit show. Yeah, April 1st this year is reported that MLW would no longer be working with Amat Enzo, who had been working on a pre-appearance agreement.
Never mind, the stream's not over. No, we still have like 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
We still have 15 more minutes, City. At least.
More YouTube channels.
I'm trying to like think of some other stuff that would be fun in like the context of like my interests and my sort of skills. that would be kind of fun to sort of have as like rewards for a subathon. This is like something I have to like sit down and really think about at some point. Brink, Celine, you're back. And we noticed the storm has abated. Impressive. Guys, you did it. You saved Snow Slammania. We can't thank you enough.
We saved the city.
We saved the city. We did it, Patrick. We saved the city. No need to thank us.
IRL streams, do a backflip on camera.
You know what? Listen. If we get to a certain point, I will learn how to like... I will like literally go to a wrestling school and learn how to take a bump and record it. like if we get to a certain point, like in a subathon, I will literally find a wrestling school. I'll go down there and be like, hey, I've always wanted to learn how to wrestle, which I have. Could you teach me how to bump? And they probably will say no, but they'll probably say no. I'm not going to do it for your shitty stream. But, you know, you miss every shot you don't take. So yeah, we'll do it. You miss every shot you don't take, as the great Bugs Bunny once said. So, cold calling. If I did like real life streams, I would probably wear a mask though. I want to have a bit of like privacy in my real life.
And not the shitty wrestling mask you have.
I want to get like a new one. I want one that's good. It's a wrestling school. Shove money in their face. I mean, that's true. That's true. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Giraffe Stev. Wayne Gretzky. Barack Obama. This thing needs to be adjusted. Oh, I thought maybe being that close to those smug Hig boys would be too much to bear. You're pretty perceptive for a moose. Haha, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Michael Scott.
Stupid.
The Big Show. The Gobbledygooker. Look on the bright side, eh? At least you won't have to see them around here anymore. Anyways, I was just checking on you. I'll see you back at the house for the after party. I really, really love just how, like, appropriately timed that, like, Gitsy thing was. It really did just run in at the best time possible. Go home!
Dude, that threw me off so much. What the fuck's going on?
Speaking of, do we have another Gitsy in our back pocket? Or are we, like, waiting on the cooldown for that still?
Let's see. Let me look. Cooldown. We'll be back in 8.5 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay. Ah, shit! Well, well, when the next commercial break comes along, we're all just gonna have to sit through it together, chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm still going through.
Here,
going
have
through.
Angry Joe. They done reffed it up. They sure did, buddy.
Yeah, they sure did.
Sure fucking did. LeBron James said that.
Wait, are we on ad break right now? No, wait,
No.
we're not.
No, not yet. I mean, I could just override the thing and just play it myself. I could just play it myself.
Play Gitsy yourself.
But that kind of just goes against the whole thing, you know? I don't want to do that. That's not a thing for me to redeem, that's for chat to redeem. And I don't know how to redeem it either, because I have a... Because again, I'm like 10 years old. I have the hat to prove it.
Mentally, I am here.
Mentally, I am here in this hat. Yeah. I mean, I could just go down there and shove money in their faces. But, like, They probably,
my
like,
money.
want me to sign on to something, too.
Mm.
You know what? I'll try. I'll try. Or at least, like, I'll find a wrestling ring, and I will find someone to have me take a bump in it. At the very least.
Please.
Please, I need this for my super cool and awesome Twitch channel. Dad must be proud. He certainly is, of the whole promotion, and of you and your brother. I think he could show... I'd like to propose a toast to the wonderful Logan family and all their work with North Country Wrestling. A PAW and NWC have had a long-standing relationship of mutual talent sharing and development. It's true, our wrestlers know they may have the opportunity to move up to PAW, so they all do their best to improve and give every match their all. Speaking of impressing, I was more than pleased with what I saw here tonight. Today, I witnessed true selflessness, true dedication, not to personal ambitions, but to the spirit of wrestling itself. Today, I saw a heart. I don't remember taking anyone's heart out. Do you, Flars? 9. We did the fireplace heart punch 2 weeks ago. Brink, come over here, son. Put Henry over. Okay, hold on. Where is he? There, I put him over. Hi, Henry.
Oh my god. Hi, Henry.
What you did today to save Snow Slammania was more impressive than any body slam or pinfall in the arena. It's a dedication like yours that we need in the big time, that we need to show to wrestling fans across the whole toy room. What? What?
What?
How'd you like to come up and wrestle in Paw? Oh no, I don't know how to wrestle!
Oh shit!
He doesn't know how to wrestle. I don't know what to... don't worry, I wouldn't want to split up the honest bucks. Stat can come too. Alright. So Brink, what'll it be? I mean, we're going up to Raw, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. With that, Brink takes his first steps into Paw. But what of Muchacho Man? Will holding the BEW title open a door to that lofty promotion? Well, we'll see. After an ad break.
Oh.
Cheetos break!
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
You go and get him, bud. Raw rolls on.
Yeah, still almost 4-minute cooldown.
Raw rolls the fuck on after this.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still looking through old graveyard YouTube channels.
You're bringing me the bodies. You're bringing me the bodies of the fallen.
Yeah. Some of these are taking me a while. I'm just like, wait, who was this again?
It really is funny to like just think about like where things were and where they are now. So. Like. Like pony content creation is just so different now. So. In terms of just like the people who are in it and those who are still kind of associated.
Yeah. Look, I just had an incident of wait, who is this again? Oh, this person. Wow, I haven't heard this person in a long while. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure this name might ring a bell to you, Logan. Rhino Mills. Like, holy shit.
Oh,
yeah.
It sounds like it does. Sounds like it does. It sounds like it does. Please link me.
Okay.
Step on up and see if you can pull a giant
All right, let's see if you can do it. Just have a second here, I think.
Go, hurry.
You missed. No.
Or maybe you didn't.
Not one on the night. Not one on this night.
Yeah, just know, Logan, majority of these uh are gone.
Right, sure.
Scripture reads, commentaries are a bunch of star things.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Hold on, you know, I'm going to go to the, let's see if I can go to the, junkyard dog statue, or if that's not really a thing. Oh, hey, yeah, we can.
if you must know, Ramos was part of the commentary community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prior to crushing his foes and winning fans as a pro wrestler, he was doing both on the football field. Beloved by his fans and feared by competitors, Junkyard Dog would, end matches with his thump, an earth-shaking power slam. Giraffe once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Spare serotonin, please.
No, he said he missed 238% of the shots you don't take. Thank you. You never miss a shot at serotonin. You never miss a shot of serotonin. You can't afford it. Much like how I can't afford to be playing this any longer. I don't know how I fucking transition out of that. This is fun still. This is fun still.
Damn.
I need to look at how long it takes to beat. Hold on. Because, like, I need to make sure that, you know, we're moving on, you know, sooner rather than later, and we're not spending, like, another year on this.
There's
how long to beat?
It's an RPG.
It is an RPG, but some are pretty short. So far for main and sides, 50 hours.
Oh.
But my 238% is 138% better than your chances, Samoa Joe. And the numbers don't lie for you at Sacrifice.
Oh my god.
They spell disaster. I literally have, like, a poster. I have, like, an original print of, like, a piece of art that is made in tribute of that promo. And it's literally like Steiner math. Like, he's in front of a chalkboard and there's a small error on it, and it's the only thing. The bottom of it says they spelled destruction. No, they don't. They spelled disaster. They spelled disaster for you at Sacrifice.
Oh shit.
That's like the one thing. That's the one thing that's off about it. I really wish I got that, like, guy's, like, card or something, because I'm never going to be able to find him again. Anyways, thank you all very much for hanging with us. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to raid out here. Who is live right now?
Wait, we're ending now?
Yeah, we're ending. Yeah, we're ending because we're about to cross over 3 hours.
Should I play in the Gitsy then?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright.
What up?
Rush the nigga with the broomstick.
Oh, fuck. Shut up, Twitch. Alright, y'all take care. Much love.
It's no big surprise.
I really, really hope that you all enjoyed tonight. I've been enjoying, oh no. Yeah, we're getting this one to finish us off, baby.
With minor control changes for sidestepping, and of course, all new worlds and vehicles. The game starts off with a peek at ancient China. A dragon attacks the Great Wall, and a soldier notices a dagger embedded in his chest. Oddly, removing the dagger results in the dragon's death.
Mr. Cool is very much live right
you
now.
play Lara Croft, complete with front-loaded anvils, searching for the dagger centuries later.
We could raid my friend Toad. He's playing Billy Hatcher right now. Major, you know what.
Tomb Raider has slightly more action than exploration this time around, but you may not notice the difference. This is good, because that way everybody's happy. Obviously, we're giving Tomb Raider 2 a good review. We fully expected to do so. We knew the game would be great, and it is. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Really,
In
now?
answer to Laura's giant earrings, however, we have a challenge to IDOS.
Giant
In
earrings.
2.3, create a storyline in which Laura gets breast cancer. Imagine the drama of a vulnerable Lara Croft still persisting in her worldly adventures despite her illness. It needs fleshing out, no pun intended.
It does not need fleshing out.
Stunned and moved at the effort to make Laura's character more meaningful. We love Lara, but it's about time the industry had a big shock for a change. It's no shock that Tomb Raider 2 is excellent.
No.
Period. The end.
No. Wait. You leave it on that.
Yeah, he's on the breast cancer thing.
You just leave it on that. Hey. It's just like, hey, breast cancer, leaves. Comes in, breast cancer, leaves. You can't do this to me. You can't do this.
It's like breast cancer, leaves.
He just insanely throws it in there. No fear. There's no fear on the face of this man.
It's also funny since the remaster creator were announced at the Nintendo Direct.
Long boy club love, chat. Again, thank you for hanging with us tonight. If you haven't done so already, please consider following the channel. I would really appreciate it. Join the Discord server where we're watching ponies, and we're also just kind of gathering up a bunch of videos to to watch on the birthday stream, and follow my socials as well. They are also up there. It's in my card. So yeah, thank you all very much. When we come back here next week, we are going to be finishing up, hopefully, WWE 2K20, and we're going to be doing some with Creepshow. We're going to be doing a bracket war with some of our favorite wrestlers, and we're going to decide the winners via 2K23. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I'm going to stop being shocked because I'm not shocked anymore.
Totally shocked.
Shocked. Not that shocked. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. I'll see y'all later. See you in the server, or I'll see you just around in general. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
There's the raid message right there. Say it when we get in there. Bye.